What's going on? Welcome on into the Wise Guys podcast. This is episode number 89. I'm John Tortorelli, Brand Capozziello, and Justin Ray. And today we will be discussing Lamar Jackson's trade request. What's going on? Kevin Durant's return getting cooked by the Timberwolves, but getting the win ultimately. Thursday Night Football debates the most deserving number one overall pick and the most mid-NFL team in America. I'm going to be honest, guys. Sun's out. The Heat lost last night. The Kings made the playoffs. Life is good.
Life is so good. Big win for the Knicks. Shouts out to my boy Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickly. And shouts out to Jimmy Butler for not scoring all those points because he couldn't rely on the free throw line last night. Good job, Jimmy Butler.
I hate regular season basketball. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't want to talk about it.
And before we get further into the episode, if you haven't heard, the Wise Guys have our own Patreon account where you get exclusive content and an opportunity to even get on the show if you like. If you'd like to check out the Patreon, all the benefits, including Q&A access, shoutouts, and much more, be sure to check out links in the description. And while you're at it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so we get more people to the live show. I think we should be able to get 100 people for every show in here. That means 20 likes. We gotta raise those likes up. So if you're watching, you're enjoying, not only give us the like on YouTube, but if you listen to us on audio platforms, give us a 5-star. Lamar Jackson's trade request. The question is, Lamar on March 2nd reportedly asked the Ravens for a trade. He recently took it to Twitter saying, I'm formally declaring a trade from the Baltimore Ravens. I want to thank Flock Nation. Guys, is this just a leverage play to get what he wants out of Baltimore? Or is this actually him saying, goodbye, you don't value me, let me take my talent somewhere else, even if you end up still giving me the best offer I can get?
I think he wants out. I think there's no way all the stuff that has gone on this offseason, it's very clear to all of us. I mean, Baltimore was trying to make a deal with Baker Mayfield. They were ready to move on from Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar doesn't feel valued, and I mean he shouldn't feel valued from this team. This is a team that clearly, in their own division, they see a team in Cleveland throwing $230 million guaranteed at a quarterback who doesn't own an MVP. Lamar Jackson has ran the AFC North since he started, and the guy's been clearly the focal point of that entire franchise. Changed the whole focus of it from before he got there. It was Joe Flacco and that ship going down slowly. When he got drafted, he was a rookie, didn't play right away. Who was the spark? Lamar Jackson. That guy has been, excuse me, he's been the Baltimore Ravens. He is the face of the Baltimore Ravens. And you're willing to walk away from that? I think Baltimore is looking stupid right now because you're only choosing to get worse. You're not going to get better. You're not getting better letting Lamar walk. I get it. You might get some draft picks in return. You don't have to spend $200 million guaranteed on a quarterback. But I think Lamar wants out, and rightfully so. You're clearly not valued. They don't invest in the receiver position for you. Understood that he's been hurt over the last 2 years, but when he's on the field, Lamar Jackson is dynamite. So you're losing that MVP threat year in and year out. A guy that's going to put you in position to advance to an AFC title game or put you in position to, I'm going to say he can lead a team to a Super Bowl, even in this stacked AFC. Why? Because you have a John Harbaugh and you have that elite quarterback and you have a solid defense that could compete with the best. They can get there, but like I said, they've never invested in the receiver position. So really, how much do they value Lamar? It's clear it's not $200 million. They don't see him worth that much. I don't think they clearly only saw him as a $130 million guaranteed quarterback, and they're not willing to go above that. It's their loss at the end of the day because, like I said, if you don't have and I've said it before, if you don't have a quarterback in this league, you don't have nothing. You're not getting anywhere. So, sucks for Baltimore. Lamar needs to go somewhere where he feels valued.
Yeah, so I disagree. I've been pretty clear on my point on this. I think the Ravens are being as smart as they could possibly be. We start from when the negotiating started to really break down this year. I thought the Ravens were incredibly smart by putting that non-exclusive tag on him. First off, you save 13 million, I think. I think the franchise was 45. So you say he's getting 32 if he signs it. And teams have to come to you or come to Lamar, try to get a trade done, and you could get 2 first-round picks, and then the what's it called?
Cap relief.
What happened?
Cap relief.
Cap relief. No, that's not where I was going. I just completely had a brain fart right there.
Justin, there's 2 different ways of looking at this. Lamar Jackson, when he's been hurt the last couple of years, has had the Ravens as one of the top seeds in this conference, the top if memory serves. But for Baltimore, the reason no NFL team will offer Lamar Jackson $200 fully guaranteed dollars, because no owner can do that. Only Jimmy Haslam is stupid enough to give Deshaun Watson $230 million fully guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
As an owner, you need to stuff all that into an escrow account. And Brett Coleman yesterday on YouTube made an amazing breakdown discussing when you actually fully guarantee a quarterback that type of contract, not only do you have to store all that money away at the signing, but there's no backing out of it. It's not like with Derek Carr's contract, you could add 3 void years in 2027 and 2028 and 2029, and then you can spread that money out long term by basically taking that signing bonus or the fully guaranteed dollars and just dropping that down. So that way he gets more guaranteed money at the quarterback, but you get cap relief in the now. So for those fully guaranteed dollars, $45 to $55 or $60 million a year, that can hamstring a franchise. Now, like I was just touched on before, the only team that may have given Lamar Jackson the $200 million fully guaranteed contract that he wants, it's reported he doesn't want 230 or more like Deshaun, would be Cleveland. But Cleveland just tested their luck last offseason, and now they don't have that flexibility. And that's the real reason why no team is looking to give Lamar exactly what he wants.
But you know what, John? My argument isn't somebody needs to give this guy $200 million. It's the guy deserves to be paid and shouldn't be looked at as a quarterback that, oh, because he's been hurt over the last 2 years, we're not going to value him nearly as high as he's an MVP. He should be getting paid to the likes of what a Joe Burrow might get, a Justin Herbert might get. I just saw something that Justin Herbert might get north of 400 when his contract is up the other day. Lamar is better than these guys. Well, has made the impact more than these guys on their franchises. So, yeah, Cleveland was stupid because they were the ones that set this quarterback market so damn high, throwing $230 million guaranteed at Deshaun Watson. But you're telling me Kyler Murray should be getting paid more than Lamar? No. So that's is that doable for an NFL franchise? Probably.
Is 189 fully guaranteed? I would say so.
Okay, so you can't tell, nobody can tell me that Baltimore shouldn't be offering that. I don't know if they have. I don't know what's the inner workings of these negotiations.
I can tell you. That's the point that I messed up on. So it was reported, yes, you said, I think you alluded to it. Adam Schefter in September reported that the Ravens offered Lamar a $133 million fully guaranteed contract for the first 3 years, but also had injury guarantees that could bump it up to $175 million and springing guarantees that could up it to $200 million if he's on the roster the 5th day of the 2026 regular season league year. Guaranteed money is what how Adam Schefter phrased it. Now, Lamar said he refuted that. I think he was refuting the point of $200 million guaranteed. What Adam Schefter said is that there's obviously, incentives there, but it can get up to $200 million. If I'm Lamar, you take that 3-year fully guaranteed, you get $133 million, which I think evens out to $45 million a year, I think, give or take. And then you're a free agent again at what age, guys? He'd be 29. And then you get to re-up again. And this time you might be able to get that 5-year big-time extension. I think that would have been the smarter play. Now, listen, he's missed out on that. And I told you, and I'm remembering what I wanted to say now. Earlier, when I told you guys that I believe the Ravens are doing the smartest thing, it's because they're letting Lamar go out there because they don't believe any team is going to pay him the $200+ million that he wants. And John, you said there's reports that he doesn't want that. I think that's baloney because he wants the fully guaranteed money. He wants the fully guaranteed, and he wants upwards of $200+ million. I think that is fair to say. Maybe not 230, but he wants $200+ million fully guaranteed. I think that's fair to say. And the Ravens are saying, go ahead, go try and see what the value is. And what are we all finding out over these past 2 months or so? Is there anybody out there?
Nobody's
calling.
No.
We got these weird reports of this non-representative. Is he a representative? We got these weird things going on.
Got 10 teams already pulling out. Yeah.
Yep. Like right when the non-exclusive tag was given, I think instantly Atlanta and Carolina, both reports were said they're not interested in Lamar Jackson. Two teams that you would think would be perfect, right? Or that would want to go after him. So these are the teams that could be interested. You got the Titans who need a quarterback, right? Colts, Texans, Commanders, and the Panthers, but the Panthers are not interested.
What
In
about
Atlanta,
New England?
do you want to go down that path or can we move on? Because that's not going to happen. I told you guys that from day one. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. We're good? Okay.
Bill Belichick made a quote just recently saying that we're not changing our ways, basically. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, again, if we didn't pay Tom Brady max money, why are we going to pay Lamar Jackson max money? That's my whole point. End of story. That argument is dead. So it's Titans, Colts, Texans, Commanders, and the Panthers who need a quarterback, but the Panthers aren't interested. Atlanta said Ritter is now their starter. I don't know about the Titans. That could be interesting. I don't think they have the cap space, and I don't think that they haven't really been making any noise, really. The Colts, it seems like, I mean, if you can get AR, who's a younger, maybe type of version of Lamar, is that what you want to go with? You got the Texans. I don't think they're gonna go get Lamar. The Commanders, Ron Rivera said he's not interested. That's not the way we want to go. It seems like nobody's interested. Why is nobody interested? You want to know why? This is why. Nobody's interested because what you have to give up. First, 2 first-round picks, most likely. I think that can be negotiated, but out there is 2 first-rounders. You have to give Lamar close to $230 million fully guaranteed. And 3, he's got an injury history. Now, I know there's been some, he refuted those points about the injury history. Last 2 seasons, you have not been able to the last 3 seasons, he's not been able to finish the season. If we remember back to 3 seasons ago when he played the Bills in the playoffs, the second round, he got a concussion. He didn't finish the game. So 3 seasons in a row, he hasn't been able to finish the season.
He's only finished 1 game in December the last 2 years.
Yep. And this last year, he can listen. I think I was the one on the show that said, I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar could go, but he's choosing not to get his money. And I think he basically said that without saying it in his tweets. So your slip is showing, Lamar. You told on yourself a little bit. That's it. Those are the reasons, right? And also when the athleticism wanes, can he be a great pocket passer? Those are still question marks. And those are the reasons why people are not willing to go out there and get Lamar. They're willing to either go young or just stick with what they have. And I think the Ravens have been proven. Justin, you said they're stupid. I think they're proven to be smart because where's Lamar going? Please give me the team. Give me a team.
Nowhere is where Lamar's going.
But the problem is dangling that relationship that you have with your quarterback. Right now, you're just fracturing that relationship.
Whoa. Wait, this is business. Who said it was personal?
And I completely understand that. And if it's true that Lamar is straight up just looking for over $200 million and
it's got to be true.
We don't know that.
It's got to be true.
And then I guess he's the one in the wrong there. But I do believe that he's worth more than a Kyler Murray, and both should be willing to pay that.
I think he's worth more than Kyler Murray, 100%. The Deshaun Watson deal, you guys alluded to it. It's an aberration. The Browns were desperate. Did you see? Do you guys know the Browns? Does everybody remember the Browns' history of quarterbacks the last 20+ years? They have a literal list of a jersey of these quarterbacks. They were desperate to get anybody. So you can't. That's the aberration contract, kind of like the Rudy Gobert trade in the NBA. That's the aberration. You can't compare it to those. I think the best deal is for him to take that 133 million.
If it's still on the table.
I mean, listen, if he comes back to it, who knows? I think, again, my whole point was I think the Ravens were waiting to say if a team does match, we'll look at the or not match. Sorry, if the team does offer Lamar a contract, let's say 175 million, fully guaranteed, no incentives, right? Excuse me. I think the Ravens would say, all right, we're going to look at it. We're going to ponder it. We're going to think about it. We're at 133. I mean, we were willing to give him 175 with injury incentives. You know what? Screw it. Let's give him 175 fully guaranteed. Let's match it. You're back on the Ravens, right? That's what the Ravens were doing. But guess what? Nobody's offering anything, so they can't even match. And so they're just sitting in the catbird seat like, we're not going to bet against ourselves like the Browns just did last year with Deshaun when they were matching themselves, which was just. Go ahead, John. You wanted to say something?
And this is going to go on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Up until
they don't have to make a decision until the summer, right? I think it's the summer.
They technically don't have to make a decision up until the season. So they've got a long time to basically flex their muscles here. And Lamar Jackson requesting a trade through Twitter is him flexing his own muscles to some extent, where he said, "You'll see me again, Flock Nation." Another way of saying, I'm well aware I probably will still be back here. Lamar Jackson's best destination is Baltimore. It's the only team that will actually have not only top 5 defense, Super Bowl winning head coach, and one of the better rushing attacks in the NFL, partially because of the system, but they also bring in, more importantly, a new offensive coordinator from Georgia, Tom Monken, who has the passing concepts that Greg Roman did not. So while J.K. Dobbins maybe doesn't stay healthy next year, you have the 22nd overall pick to add in, say, Zay Flowers will probably be gone, but maybe it's Jordan Addison, a high-end wide receiver number 2. And now you look at this Ravens offense, a lot more desirable. You say, okay, well, the passing game will probably be there. Rashad Bateman's coming off injury. You have Mark Andrews and all-pro tight ends. Maybe you just need to add in one more receiver, and you're set. That's a Super Bowl winning team. And so for Lamar Jackson to want all the money, he deserves it. And Deion Sanders, they made a point, you don't have to reason with fools. We know your value. We know you're a top 10 quarterback and MVP candidate perennially. But none of these franchises are going to invest their entire spendings, all of their flexibility, and a huge amount of their assets to bring in Lamar if it's then going to inhibit their ability to build around him.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, John. I think that. Go ahead, Justin. You want to say something?
I was going to say that seems to be the route that a lot of NFL teams are taking. I mean, the years of Tom Brady taking pay cuts, that no quarterback is going to do that anymore. So all these teams are going to be strapped. I mean, the Bengals have a decision to make about their wide receivers because T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in back-to-back years will be coming off the books. You have to decide which one you're going to pay. It'd be hard to believe that they keep both while paying Joe Burrow a boatload of money. And if they find a way to do it, God bless them. But Justin Herbert is going to be paid another boatload of money. How much talent are they going to be able to keep around him?
So that was my whole point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that seems to be that's going to be the landscape of the NFL. So somebody's going to pay Lamar. It's going to be the same thing. How are you going to put together a Super Bowl team? That's why the Eagles were so successful this past
year. You stole the words out of my mouth. I was just about to bring up the Eagles of why I don't believe that the style that Lamar plays, the running quarterback with the, a bunch of read options and quarterback runs and stuff. I said this before to you guys. The Jalen Hurts one worked because of, did you see the talent around that guy?
Stacked.
How are you going to surround Lamar with that talent when he's making upwards of $50 million a year? It's not possible. Look, it's not. So again, I just that was my whole point with of why this style can't. Listen, we all believe Lamar. I think we all have Lamar in our top 10 quarterbacks right now, right? I don't know if you guys agree with me. I think Justin said that he can get you to a Super Bowl. I don't believe that they can win a Super Bowl with Lamar as a quarterback, just simply because I don't think they can surround him with that necessary talent. So again, I think the Ravens are being completely smart here, just waiting back. And we're gonna see how this really shakes out, because Lamar says, I mean, you post that, you really think that when you see that type of post that Lamar did, it's like, how do you go back? But where do you go? That's the real. So the only really place is back, and I know it's like, but they bet like publicly. Harbaugh, DaCosta, all these guys have been publicly like 2 months ago. Harbaugh said 200%. I believe he'll be our franchise quarterback going forward. So they still want him publicly. It's the privately the conversations that are probably getting to Lamar, and it's because he doesn't have an agent, which is a lot of people have been talking about since day one as a rookie. He didn't have an agent. Apparently, it was him and his mother that negotiated the contract, and it's still him and his mom who's negotiating the contract now. And I've said this before because I listen to people who are much smarter than me in this. When you don't have an agent, you're hearing all the negative stuff that they're telling you. You're hearing that firsthand. When you have an agent, the agent hears it and then filters it so that it doesn't, kill your mindset. You hear those type of things because you don't want to hear how they talk about you because it's all out on the table.
Yeah,
They
well,
bring up all your weaknesses. Yes, they bring up all your weaknesses and your negatives because it's not personal, it's business, and they got to save money. And you don't want to hear that. So it reminds me of a story with the UFC. Joe Silva used to be their matchmaker. You hear stories all the time. You can look them up. This guy was the most vicious and brutal guy you could listen to. He would degrade you, diminish you on the phone if you heard how he said it, talked about you, because that's how it's done in business. They want to get you for the cheapest price they possibly can. So they will not focus on your strengths. They'll focus on your weaknesses. And it's good to have an agent who can filter that, and you don't have to hear that negativity, and you can just focus.
That happens a lot in baseball. A lot of players try to avoid arbitration. And once you get there, you're going to hear the truth. You're going to hear every little flaw that you have. They're going to try and get you at the lowest dollar amount they possibly can. And you may win your case, you may not. But at the end of that, when you walk out of that room, some feelings are going to be hurt regardless. So Lamar is definitely hearing the truth right now from Ravens brass. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's still an MVP. He knows that. The Ravens know that.
Well said. So Frank Reich dispelled the narrative that he is a big quarterback-only type of head coach yesterday, even pointing out that he's been a strong proponent of Russell Wilson pre-draft process. With Bryce Young being the top quarterback prospect in this year's class at 5'10", the question is, which route should Carolina go? Should they go with the high floor quarterback and C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State that probably has a more limited ceiling? Bryce Young, the tantalizing 5'10" QB? Or the mystery box and Anthony Richardson, who Frank Reich labeled as scream of the top type of draft pick when watching his film. Justin, you are a Florida fan, so I want to start with you yet again. Do you think Anthony Richardson has a safe enough floor to be taken number one, or should they go the more traditional route?
That is so risky. That is so risky. You go out there. I mean, look at the Jets just a couple of years ago taking Zach Wilson so early in the draft. They're sitting there regretting that. You don't go out. You don't want to miss with this pick. This isn't a pick that you're taking a risk on. You want to take somebody that you absolutely surefire all in on. A guy like Anthony Richardson, and while as talented as can be, he has all the physical tools, can throw the crap out of a football, and probably can run through your face too if he's running down the seam. But to take him number one overall is just, it absolutely baffles me. This isn't the NBA where Kyrie Irving barely played. He barely played his first year in college, and then he gets through and he's the number one overall pick. This isn't the NBA. This isn't like that. You need that sample size. So I mean, sure, if he falls into the 20s and somebody's willing to take that risk, that's fine. But to take him number one overall, you traded up for this pick. You should have traded up for this pick already knowing damn well who you're taking. In my opinion, a guy like C.J. Stroud, who's probably the best pocket passer amongst the big three of quarterbacks, that might be your best bet with the receivers that you just acquired too. And he can move. Or you get a Bryce Young who has proven that he can play on the biggest stages. But you go and risk that number one overall pick to bring in a guy like Anthony Richardson. And again, like I said, the talent oozes off of him. But at the end of the day, that's such a risky move, because if you don't develop that quarterback, then you're just in the same place you were last year. You're gonna have the same thing where you have a bunch of quarterbacks that aren't gonna take you anywhere, but they're just placeholders, and you don't want to have that.
Now you wouldn't have your first round pick.
Yeah. So I think this Anthony Richardson should not be the number 1 overall pick, and this is not me hating on him. Like I said, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. He's extremely talented, but that's too risky for me to take with a number 1 overall pick when there are surefire prospects in this draft. And while none of these quarterbacks I'd say for certain are surefire, there are other players that are. But the only thing is the Panthers need a QB, so you have to take one. But I wouldn't be taking Anthony Richardson. I'd be taking one of the two that have been playing football games and have shown you that they could win against big teams in big moments.
So which one is it?
Oof. I'm taking Stroud. Like I said, he's a pure pocket passer. He's not pure, but the better pocket passer amongst them. You got receivers now in Chark and Thielen. You bring in Miles Sanders. It's a revamped offense. I think you bring in a guy that can lead you. And Frank Reich has shown that he can work with these pocket passers in the past. Take Stroud, you'll be fine. And I'm also saying that because I want Bryce Young in Houston.
I think it's pretty much been confirmed it's going to be C.J. Stroud. I don't know if you guys saw the video that was caught with him and Stroud and McCown talking, and I think they were talking about pickup basketball, like, oh, we should play more. Stroud said to him, and McCown said back, yeah, we will when you're in Carolina. You know, caught like, yeah, basically under the breath, like kind of, and it was caught on the video. You can look that up. So I think it's I think they're taking CJ Stroud. Like Justin said, listen, I mean, he didn't say this word, but I think he's the prototypical quarterback. He's the most prototypical quarterback in the class right now, I think. 6'4", big body. What is he, 230, you guys think? 225?
Stroud?
Yeah.
He's not 230, 6'4". I think he's 6'3", 6'2". 225 probably. Really?
Well, I thought he was bigger than that. I thought he was 6'4". But yeah, no. Listen, I think they're taking CJ Stroud. That's really it. I think Anthony Richardson is going to the Colts, who I think are taking, what are they, the 4th overall or 3rd overall? The Colts, I think they're 4th. All right, so yeah, that's how. So I go first is Stroud. I think is going. Then 2 is Houston, right? I think they're taking Young, and then 4 is going AR-15.
I don't want a prototypical quarterback with the 1st overall pick. I want something special. CJ Stroud is Jared Goff to me with a little bit more athleticism. So I want that in the 1st overall pick. I'll take it. I'll be cool with it. But after 4 years, I'm not going to be satisfied. And I think for Carolina, a team that has...
Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl.
He's not a top 10 quarterback, Justin. He's a 1st overall pick.
Okay, but after the year you just saw from Jared Goff, okay?
I said to myself, he's a bridge quarterback. That's what I said.
After this past season, you're like, okay.
Hell yeah, I'm sorry, Lion fans. That's what I say. I see he's the 16th to 12th best quarterback in the NFL. That's a quarterback I like to use as a bridge to a younger quarterback with a lot more upside.
That's fair, Justin. Come on, that's fair.
I'm just saying. Okay, I know he's about
Justin,
to go. And
John's the same guy that said Alex Smith isn't a bust, be a number 1 overall. Jared Goff accomplished more than what Alex Smith did.
Okay, I thought John was going to spark a debate there.
No, he's not. No, because he knows that's true. Go ahead, Justin.
Continue, John. Continue.
CJ Stroud is the most safe quarterback in this draft. But to me, this was not the class to trade up for a quarterback.
No.
Bryce Young is the best quarterback out of these 3, but he looks like a crash course dummy sometimes getting hit at 5'10". And Anthony Richardson has so much upside, but you've invested so much of your future into this number 1 overall pick. Now, the good news in Carolina is that they're building one hell of a defense. They have a lot of personnel on offense, especially on the offensive line where they invested a lot into it the last couple of years. But man, I feel like next year for Carolina was the right season. And because of Frank Reich's nightmares of not having a quarterback in Indianapolis, he didn't want to have 1 year of no quarterback in Carolina. He couldn't do that 1 year. And I think that long term really could cost the Panthers. In the short term, you'll be fine taking CJ Stroud. I think he could probably win Rookie of the Year. I just don't see a lot of special traits with him outside structure, extending plays, and especially at Ohio State where he's had all the talent in the world. I mean, it's not going to be that way in the NFL. So I think he'll be good. I think he'll be maybe just like Jared Goff, the 16th, the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. But I think to win a Super Bowl, CJ Stroud's always going to be an above average quarterback and not much more.
Well, so who do you want? You want Anthony Richardson then? You think they should take Anthony Richardson?
This is a lazy thing to say. I want to not trade for the first overall pick in the 2023 draft. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, okay. That we all agree. Yes, we all agree with that. We all agree with that. But now they're in the place. Me and Justin answer the question. You put the fire under your ass.
I'm taking Bryce Young with this pick. I'm taking the best quarterback out of the three that actually had worse talent in Alabama. Bill O'Brien. He's a good coach. He didn't do a great job in his 1 year with Bryce. I think Bryce has the highest floor, honestly, if he can stay healthy. And it's just a matter of what you value as a team. And I think Frank Reich here, he's going to go with CJ Stroud. But I think, honestly, well, he may win Rookie of the Year. He may be put in a better position in Carolina than Bryce Young in Houston. I think Bryce Young is just simply the quarterback that's worthy of a number 1 overall pick. CJ Stroud to me is not a top number 1 pick. That's the way I look at him.
You think
top
Bryce
10
Young,
pick, not top 1.
You think Bryce Young can be a top 10 quarterback in the league?
I do. I think his ability to create out of structure is unbelievable. He's slippery.
What's his ceiling?
His ceiling?
Is he as athletic as Kyler Murray,
no,
would you say?
He's not as athletic as Kyler, and he doesn't have the arm of Russell Wilson.
Does he have a higher ceiling than either of those guys, Wilson or Kyler Murray?
I'm talking out of my ass if I said yeah. Maybe.
And I don't think you think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I think Kyler's a top 10 quarterback, and I think Russ was a top 5 quarterback.
Bryce Young. I don't think you think. What I'm saying is, it's the way you answer those questions.
I do.
You're talking yourself into. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. His ceiling can be top 10.
I do.
I just when the second words out of your mouth, John, are I'm taking Bryce Young, and if he can stay healthy, I instantly go, nah, I can't do that. Number 1 overall pick. Nope, I don't want that attached to it. No, cannot do that, man. Can't. That's why I do think again, I agree with you. They should never traded for the first overall pick, but I think they're going CJ Stroud. And I agree it's the safest pick. It's kind of like Mac Jones. I think he's the most ready right now, but yeah.
And John, you're absolutely right. If this was not the draft to be trading up for a quarterback, absolutely. I attacked you there first because I thought you were going to go and say Anthony Richardson for the first pick. I get what you mean about you want somebody special, and nobody amongst these QBs jump out at you. And you know what? It's early. You never know. These kids can prove us wrong. CJ Stroud can be an absolute stud in the NFL, and so can Bryce Young, and so can AR-15. But as of right now, there's I guess that's the thing about the NFL draft. It's high risk, high reward, I guess. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot for the sky on this one. Who knows what they get?
I want to read off to you the receivers that CJ Stroud has had at Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, an NFL superstar, first-round pick. Chris Olave, first-round pick. Marvin Harrison, who as a freshman didn't even play because
he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's
going to be a top 5 pick probably. NFL scouts are looking at him as that's the card that we all want, but you know it's not going to be available to next year. We're just there to watch it through the window. Then you have Jackson Smith and Jigma, who's also a first-round pick in the slot. That's 4 different receivers all in the first round. You have Trayvon Henderson, who's going to be a top running back next year. You have Emeka Ibuka.
When I was saying this about Alabama quarterbacks, you were telling me you can't do that with the college quarterbacks.
It's John Smile.
I didn't say that. I said that if you're going to have that as the main reason why Diskey went to Alabama and Alabama quarterbacks don't work out, they're not going to draft one, it's lazy. That's lazy. If you're just going to say, oh, you went to Alabama, I don't think you're going to work out in the NFL. That's lazy. That's what you did.
It was not the main
reason. It shouldn't solely be that, but it is important to note the guy had 5 first-round receivers he was getting to play alongside in the last 2 years. So that's why C.J. Stroud's production's going to look great. And you know what's going to happen? I think C.J. Stroud's first couple of years in Carolina will play really well. I'm pretty confident he can win Rookie of the Year. He'll be one of the top quarterbacks, maybe on a rookie contract, lead them to the playoffs. But in 5 or 6 years, that's when I want to come back to this. That's one. because I think if Bryce
gonna
Young
peak early.
can stay healthy, he'll be a clearly better quarterback than CJ Stroud. That's the way I feel about this. Mainly because of his ability to create out of structure and that playmaking aspect that in today's NFL is something you can't teach. CJ Stroud to me may be typical, and a typical quarterback is not what I'm taking number one.
Are any of these quarterbacks better than Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who?
The first two.
Okay.
And even Anthony Richardson is a better prospect. And maybe Hendon Hooker.
I do think that so do you guys agree with this though? That what my thing, Panthers are taking Stroud 1, Young is going 2, and then 4 Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I want to get this into a clip.
I think that's
give us an emphatic 2023 NFL quarterback predictions, and then his with that one more time.
I'm going Carolina Panthers, number 1 overall, are taking CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. Number 2, Houston Texans are taking Bryce Young out of Alabama. And then number 4, the Indianapolis Colts are selecting Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
Okay. I'll be honest, I'm with you on those first 2 picks, but I don't believe Anthony Richardson gets taken in the top 5. I think some NFL, I think they'll be smart there. I think he's I get it. They fell in love, but Lamar fell way down all the way to 30, right?
Yeah. They weren't looking at Lamar, which is just insane to me. That the hype was not there for Lamar when he was coming out, which is just so weird. You see
Josh Rosen.
Huh?
Josh Rosen.
So, but it wasn't there with Lamar that year for some reason. I mean, I wasn't even a college football fan, but I even looked at Lamar and said, "Boy, this kid is something special."
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see. They've fallen in love with Anthony Richardson. I think the Colts with Shane Steichen, if I say his last name right, hopefully, coming out from Philadelphia, having Jalen Hurts. I think Anthony Richardson is the perfect quarterback for that system. So that's why I just think that they're going to take him.
2023 NFL Draft quarterback predictions. My prediction is that Will Levis is going to the Las Vegas Raiders, number 7. I want to take him in the top 10.
Can't do that.
I want to take him in the top 15, but I know Josh McDaniels is a funny guy, and I could see him taking.
Gotta take defense. You gotta go defense.
Prospect. I agree. I would
defense
take good football players with a top 10 pick. No thanks to Will Levis for me.
I don't think they do that. I think that they have to go defense or O-line.
So you think 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10?
It is weird because they've given Jimmy a 3-year deal now. Right?
Kuiper
They've given Jimmy this long-term deal.
Mm.
I don't know why they did that.
I think Kuiper predicted 4 quarterbacks or in the top 15. I'm not sure. But.
Good for him. I think Will Levis, to me, really shouldn't be a first-round pick.
No.
I think he is a jack-in-the-box, but just wildly inaccurate, unpredictable quarterback that 10 years ago, I think to me it's kind of like Ryan Mallett. A lot of tools, not a quarterback that I think is going to translate personally.
It's a good shot, John.
And he had a really bad team at Kentucky against SEC competition. I don't really care. I don't think Will Levis will be that quarterback, unfortunately. But I hope he proves me wrong. When we talk about these quarterbacks, I am hoping that they prove me wrong. I want to see them succeed. I'm not betting on their downfall, or I'm not going to be happy. I would like to see CJ Stroud be a top 5 quarterback, but I've got to be honest. When I watch his tape, I don't see that.
No. Thank you.
Sure.
I want you to remember that when you're yelling at me that I'm disrespectful next time.
I mean, I just wish these NFL teams would really think about these past mistakes that franchises have made. You know, the Sam Darnold drafts and all that. All these young quarterbacks. Not everybody is going to hit.
You think they learn, right, Justin? They don't.
You would think.
They don't learn. They don't learn. They've gotten worse.
I mean, Arizona drafted a quarterback in back-to-back years because of how bad their first pick was.
Justin, they've gotten worse about it. They hype these quarterbacks up, and no offense to Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, but neither of these guys did really jack diddly squat in college to make themselves top 5 picks, top 10 picks. No.
Sure.
If you actually had to do something in college to actually get that recognition, now it's just, we need to put 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. So these guys are going to look at these guys. What the hell is this?
I don't know if it's just a social media thing, but Anthony Richardson wouldn't be a first-round pick 10, 15 years ago.
No, he is not on the level of Lamar, RG3, Michael Vick. He's not these guys.
Or Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jalen
Hurts. Or Hurts.
Yeah, what you do in college matters.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. That Kyrie Irving one, that just hit me right in the head. You can't do that. That's not how it works. This is the NFL.
And Kyrie also did something in
Cam,
March
too,
Madness
he's
as
on
well,
Cam
Justin.
total.
That's what made him the first overall
Like, dude,
pick.
Cam did some special stuff. Cam won the national championship in his community college thing, I think, or whatever one. And then he went to Auburn with like no talent around him and won a national championship. Who does that? That's how you get number 1 overall pick. What did Anthony Richardson do, Justin?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Lose.
Yeah, in top 5 overall. Come on, man. Ridiculous.
Talking about ridiculous.
Yeah,
The Atlanta Falcons are coming out and saying Desmond Ritter's their starter. I want to ask you guys the question. Who is the most mid team in the NFL?
Huh.
Justin's laugh.
Most mid team in the NFL. My first thought that comes to mind is Washington. The Washington Commanders. They always put together, there's a solid group. They'll convince you for a while. Their defense looks good for a while. They have Scary Terry. Everybody falls in love with the little Taylor Heineke story, almost beating Tom Brady in a playoff game. But we knew it wasn't going to happen. We knew they weren't getting anywhere. And then now this year, you have Riverboat Ron as your head coach. You think things are changing. And same song and dance. They look like they're going somewhere, and they don't. They couldn't even beat the Giants late in the season. I think Washington is easily the most mid team in the NFL. Easily. I'd be surprised if you guys have a better answer than that, honestly.
I don't know if it's a better answer, but like the Tennessee Titans have become pretty mid at this point. Like, I know they fluctuated the last couple of years.
Agreed.
Going up, but I feel like
they were a 1 seed.
I know that's what I'm saying. They fluctuated, but they were the number 1 seed, like the Atlanta Hawks were a number 1 seed that one year. You knew they weren't doing anything with it.
Justin, I feel like you have to have a winning season in the last 4 or 5 years to actually be considered in this discussion. There's a little bit more gravitas to the discussion. You have to be good for at least 1 year, no?
Well, they went to the playoffs.
The worst division we've seen in the last 5 years. That doesn't count.
Nah, I don't know about that. Have you seen the NFC South lately?
Yeah, so maybe the second worst.
So then what's your answer, John? Who's the most mid team?
It's going to pick the Cowboys.
No, you can't pick the Cowboys. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's being the hater.
I want to take a guess on who.
Sorry, the last time the Commanders had a winning season was 2015, 8 years ago. If Alex stayed healthy, or 2016, he would have had them in the winning season in 2018. But
who's your mid team, Mr. Tortorelli?
My mid team, fellas, have went back and forth here between one AFC and one NFC team. My mid team is the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are going nowhere fast. Desmond Ridder to me was an all right prospect with all right tools and all right college production. He won a lot. Okay. With a great defense in Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder does not impress me. And the Falcons, they're going into this year with him, and they have a good team. They have a good offensive line. They brought back Caleb McGarry. They've added some nice pieces to the defense especially. And their head coach, Arthur Smith, is a good run designer. The Falcons this year are not going to be bad enough to get a Caleb Williams or a Drake May. They're also not ambitious enough to go out and get a Lamar Jackson. So you're settling for Desmond Ridder when he's going to, maybe be a top 20 quarterback? We don't have any confidence in that. So it's one thing if you're going to bottom out with Desmond Ridder as your starter. It's another if you actually have a pretty good team, right? You get Drake London, who's this really good prospect, and Kyle Pitts has all of the upside, but you don't have a quarterback. So the Falcons, to me, are going to be another 7-win team. The last 5 years, the Falcons have went 7-9 in 2018, 7-9 in 2019, 4-12 in 2020, 7-10. Oh, wow. Now we're getting one extra loss in 2021, and in this last year, 7-10 again. So you trade Matt Ryan, and I'm all for that. It's a new era. But I want to see the Falcons have some level of ambition here. And I feel like with Desmond Ridder, they don't have too much of that.
See, I don't feel like they're mid. I just feel like they're bad. I think that's the difference.
It's a pretty
everything
roster. That makes it mid.
Everything went downhill after their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it drastically went downhill. I would agree more with Brandon saying Tennessee as a mid team because
wait. John's had another A. What was your AFC?
Oh yeah, who was it? The Raiders.
That's what I was thinking. That was my prediction. But
Raiders
no.
or Chargers?
If he tries to be slick and says the Patriots, I'm gonna jump through this screen.
My AFC team.
Watch him say the Steelers.
The Steelers are more mid than the Patriots.
They are. Watch him say the Steelers. Go ahead. Floor's yours.
Fine. My AFC team was the Las Vegas Raiders. I really was tempted to say New England Patriots. I would lie to you if I said I wasn't. But if I'm going to talk about the Falcons and how they're going nowhere fast, when I think of mid, I think of teams that have no direction. Teams that are going to be okay in the middle of nowhere. Just, we're winning 7-8 games a season, but we're not actually going to make any progress in the next couple of years. The Raiders made the playoffs in 2021 with 10 wins, right? I also think they massively overachieved that year. This year, they massively underachieved with 6 wins. The last quality Raiders season before 2021 was 2016. The last time the Raiders won the AFC West was, checking my notes, 2002. So it's been over 20 years. The Raiders head coach is Josh McDaniels. They still got John Gruden on the payroll. Their quarterback's Jimmy Garoppolo. Their offensive line's a wreck. Their defense is limited. I think the Raiders are going nowhere fast, and they're so mid because the quarterback's Jimmy G.
That actually might be a better answer than Tennessee and Washington because of just how, like, they've kind of been just floating.
Yeah. With a solid quarterback in Derek Carr at that too, just always in the same spot.
And now your life preserver that held you afloat, got you to 10 wins, and also to 12 in his second season or his third season is gone. He's in New Orleans. Your head coach can't win games, and I think your defense has some really good pieces, awesome pieces, but there's so many holes with this team. Devontae Adams is just stuck there. I know he wants to get out. We talk about D-Hop trades. Where are the Devontae Adams trade rumors? Where are the Devontae Adams trade packages? Because why would he want to stay in Vegas when he was probably promised, hey, look, you're going to play Derek Carr. We're going to make a huge push here in the AFC West. We're going to make the playoffs this year. We're going to get the fans into it with Allegiant Stadium. And now we're going to get the Raiders on track.
Yep.
Everything that he was promised turned out to be the exact opposite of the truth.
Yep, Raiders are going nowhere fast. They are. That sucks, man. Poor Raiders fans.
Yeah, seriously, I think they deserve so much better than that. Really, it's such a cool, passionate fan base. I love watching their games, seeing that the fans all decked out in that Raider gear, silver and black, and then that's the quality of football they get.
It's because the freaking front office just, and we've talked about it, can't understand that they are not a contender. They need to rebuild.
I mean, you would have thought this past season they had all the tools to make a run for something, or at least make a run to make the playoffs and give Kansas City a run for their money. And in their head-to-head games, they did. But too bad the head-to-head games don't matter because you didn't squeeze out any one of them. And at the same time, losing so many one-possession games, man, Josh McDaniels really thinks he can recreate the Patriots in Las Vegas.
We all knew with Josh they weren't going to be contenders.
Yeah. They hired him because of name value. They hired Josh McDaniels.
I just wanted to have hope because I'm such a big fan of who Derek Carr is as a player and a person. Yeah. But
I honestly can't tell you why they hired Josh McDaniels. I have a hard time.
Name value. They wanted name value. I mean, I could tell you why the Lions fired Jim Caldwell after winning seasons and then hired Matt Patricia. Mm-hmm. You don't know why these people do what they do.
True.
And the Lions are lucky that they freaking hit with Dan Campbell, or we'd be burying their asses too.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things I don't understand, the NFL is now announcing NFL teams can play as many as 2 Thursday night football games per season. The idea of playing 2 games is that rather on Sunday, having to always be a hot topic among what am I even reading? I don't even know. Let's just repeat that because I was looking at this. This is Fox. Is this Fox? I don't even know what this is.
I don't know, John. I was clapping you with that transition. You've been on your game with the transition.
I appreciate it.
Segues, Justin. You hear him, dude?
Yeah,
the NFL. Patrick Mahomes reacted to the recent news about Thursday night football and the possibility of there being as many as 2 Thursday night football games per year. Does this matter? Why does this matter? And ultimately, BC, you're the football schedule expert. I want to get your spin on this.
while you're at it, John, I don't have my phone on me. Can you pull up JJ Watt's quote? Yeah,
I got it. I got
okay.
JJ Watts right now. And by the way, it's not 2 per year. I think it's you can now max out 2 per team per year, which is just so. JJ Watt tweeted, "Flexing games from Sunday to Thursday is a terrible idea for 2 main reasons. One, player safety. You can't make this decision and also preach that player safety is a priority. 2, fans. People spending hard-earned money to see their team play. Who's paying to change their plans?" Now, one, I'm going to speak to the player safety. I've pretty much been an advocate on this show about the NFL and sports companies in general do not give a crap about, players at the end of the day. It's all about the money. There's the old saying, follow the money and you'll understand what's going on, right? So this whole preaching player safety, they care about the players is a bunch of bullshit. We all know that, from the NFL to the NBA to everybody. It's all bull crap because they do. Listen, you can speak and say things, but actions speak louder than words. And we see the NBA doesn't want to shorten their season. They want to add games to play in. NFL, you don't want to, limit stuff like that. No, you want to add games. No, you want to add more playoff teams to get more games. Now you want to add a Black Friday game. Now you want to add 2 more Thursday night games to somebody's schedule already without changing the schedule in total. Because I have seen ideas, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, of people going through the schedule and being like, if you do it this way, right, where it's like division matchups or division matchups, head-to-head rival weeks on Thursday night, and you make the schedule different, you can have a team coming off the bye week and playing Thursday, so they don't have to wrap around 4 days and be ready in 4 days. And you just have to add 2 bye weeks for each team. And it becoming, I can't explain to you now, but you can Google it right now and look up. People have gone through it and they've made great plans for it. The NFL is not. So again, I tell you guys, these companies, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. And then fans too. As long as you're paying, they don't give a crap about you. They just want your money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's terrible. But am I surprised? No. It's the NFL. It's Amazon. And these are multi-billion-dollar corporations that all they care about is sucking the money out of you.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to Thursday Night Football, we had this debate about Thursday Night Football months ago when we first started this, and I was coming at you guys. I was saying I just love watching football. It didn't matter the matchups to me, but I just enjoyed watching football whenever I had the opportunity to. I understand the player safety aspect, and obviously if it doesn't benefit the players, then I don't want it. But also at the same time, I think the biggest issue with Thursday Night Football, as much as I really don't care who's playing on Thursday, I'm still going to watch because I just like watching football. The matchups were the biggest problem last year. Nobody wants to see Washington playing the Panthers on a primetime Thursday night football game. Nobody wants to sit down and watch it. Besides, my dumbass is going to sit there and find entertainment with it. But it's all about matchups. So I get what Brandon says. If you align that a team coming off a bye, 2 teams coming off a bye, going to play on Thursday night where it doesn't affect them, where they do have plenty of time to prepare for these games and not rushing their treatment processes, that'd be one a much better quality of football that we'd see on a Thursday night, and then 2, the players are healthy, well, as healthy as they can be for a game like that. We don't need more Thursday night football games. It should stay the way that it already is. So it really doesn't phase me too much. But like I said, we could get better matchups. We can do more about player safety. Stop saying that you care about player safety and then do something like this. That's it.
I don't know. Honestly, Thursday Night Football has always been a wash. It's never really been that good. We had the Chargers versus the Chiefs this year, and that matchup was sweet earlier on in the season.
Mhm.
I love those types of games. But when it's Browns-Bengals in 2019, or Jaguars-Titans, even when it's week 17 or week 18, playoffs in the line, I'm not interested in that game.
No.
I know that we have to
Josh
entitle every
Dobbs.
team to some Thursday Night Football and primetime games. To me, they need to make the product of Thursday Night Football much better. It needs to be much, much better. Is this the right way to do it? I'm not quite sure, unless you're going to add in a bye week on both ends. And that's so weird to even think about. 2 bye weeks in 3 weeks. I like 2 bye weeks in a season, don't get me wrong, but I really just think this whole Thursday night football thing, it's very minute. I don't think it's going to happen personally. I have a hard time seeing it, hard time imagining it. And so for that reason, I just don't get it. From a fan interest perspective, I think fans would it'd be so different, so unique having multiple Thursday night football games. Just make the matchups good, I guess. I don't really know how else to word it because there's 32 teams. Not all.
Because now it's going to be, it's not like they're going to give us 2 A games. No, they're going to give us 2 C level games. And what the hell is that? Because we all know Sunday night football is getting the best game. Okay. And Monday night is probably getting the second best game. And then probably Sunday afternoon is even going to have the better games. And then you've got the Black Friday game too. We can't forget about that. This is ridiculous. And then last year was the first thing of the extra playoff team, right? And we had the Cowboys and the Bucks playing on Monday night, and the Cowboys had the 6 days rest, while everybody else had either 7 or 8 in the playoffs. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, it's a clear money grab. They make it as clear as day. They don't even try to hide it.
Nope.
Don't even make an effort to hide it.
Because guess what? Because this is what's gonna happen, right? We can scream till we're blue in the face, right? Until the cows come home. We can tweet as loud as we want. The only way you're going to get them to change is turning the TV off. That's it. Affect the bottom line. As long as you're watching, they don't care.
That's
you
true.
can say whatever you want.
But there's people like me that'll just sit there and watch football.
And there's people like me, Justin, that'll watch Kevin Durant in his open, stay up to 10 o'clock just to watch him lay up a dud against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you know what? I had 2 takeaways from last night's KD performance. Number 1, Jaden McDaniels is first team all defense. My second takeaway, welcome to the NBA discussion, fellas, is that the Phoenix Suns are a dangerous team. Kevin Durant can drop 16 points, shoot poorly from the field, and even still, the Suns are coming back and winning games. The way the Suns, it's not a super team. Let's dead that. But this starting lineup is a absolute nightmare for the Western Conference.
It's almost super, John.
John, is Kevin Durant a superstar?
Yes.
Is Devin Booker a star?
Hell yeah.
All right. Is
All NBA.
All right, even better. Is DeAndre Ayton a all-star caliber center?
No, he's not an all-star.
No, caliber.
Not an all-star caliber.
Is he a top 5 center?
So you're saying that 17 and 10 is not all-star caliber?
Andre Drummond did 17 and 12 in Detroit.
Yeah, and he was an all-star
traded for a second-round pick and hasn't been a starting center since.
But he's still he was at that point. He was an all-star caliber.
He wasn't him.
I'm not saying you don't have to be him to be all-star caliber. It's the third tier. You're trying to tell me DeAndre Ayton isn't 17 and 10 is just something you can walk around and do? It's not. Come on, man. Like, come on. Right, your slip is showing there. Chris Paul is still
a Hall of Famer.
Paul. That's a super
point guy.
Team, my guy.
That is not. I hate having this discussion.
We don't need to delve deep into it, but John, it is a super team.
Your idea of a super team is 3 stars coming together.
No.
And if that's the case, we get to the Warriors last year were a super team. Steph Curry was a superstar. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star.
All-star.
And Draymond Green was the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, but
you can make a case that was a super team.
That's
With
not
the Hall of Fame head coach and Steve Kerr and one of the best benches in the league, plus Klay Thompson, a Hall of Famer just like Chris Paul coming back off injury. So the Warriors last year, we could have called them a super team. We got rising star and Jordan Poole. I think that team has almost as good of a case as this year's Suns. Almost as good of a case because the Suns have way less depth. And a Hall of Fame, and I'm sorry, Steve Kerr and Monty Williams. Steve Kerr's won 4 championships.
Yeah. No, yeah, but that's a different discussion. First off, because Draymond Green is, yes, he's a all-star caliber. Andrew Wiggins, all-star caliber. Steph Curry,
none of them are all NBA like Booker. Okay.
Yeah, it's different. This team is, you have 4 guys on your team. And I'm pretty sure when they all played before this game, like they were out, I forgot the stat that JJ Redick threw. I think they were outscoring their teams by 34 points per 100 possessions. I think it was the stat. That's freaking outrageous, dude. That's insane, man.
The Mavericks outscore teams by 30 possessions, by 30
Yeah,
points
but
per
guess what? They
100.
can't stop anybody either.
No, but we're outscoring you by 30 points per 100 with Maxi Kleber, Christian Wood, Luka, Kyrie, or no, not Kyrie, Luka, Dorian Finney-Smith. No, oh, shit. When Luka, Josh Green, Tim Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood, and Maxi Kleber on the floor, the Mavericks outscore teams by 30.
Well, then why aren't they starting them?
Well, Maxi Kleber tore his hamstring and had to get surgery, so that's why.
I feel sorry for him though. That's just going into the point that this starting. I mean, I don't know how you. I don't know. I guess we just differ. I do believe this is a super team. But you don't have respect for DeAndre, and you have
No.
you've lost respect for. You haven't lost respect for Chris Paul. You just believe that he has fallen off more than me and Justin believe he has fallen off. And yeah, so that's really the difference between us, I guess.
I've never been an Ayton guy. He had 10 points last night.
Mhm.
It doesn't put pressure on the rim.
Who did DeAndre?
He's
Yep.
maybe the softest starting center in the league.
How many
He's not a good
shots
rim
did he take?
protector. And I think he's a super skilled player, but the guy just doesn't start as well the way he can. And it's not a matter of you not getting to the foul line. It's a matter of you not physically imposing your will. That's my problem with Ayton. It's always been my problem. And it's why if we're redrafting the 2018 class, I want to take Ayton in the top 5. I would take many guards ahead of him. And that's a great draft class, so I'm kind of setting him up here. But Ayton, to me, is just a center that always leaves you wanting more. Kind of like Andre Drummond, but it's just a way more skilled and a way more refined athlete.
He's the
24
4 guy
years
on the
old.
team, though. I think that's. I mean, dude, if DeAndre Ayton is your 4,
But what are you
Fourth
asking
guy
him
on
to
a
do? You're
team, you're
asking him
doing-
to protect the rim at an elite level. And he's not anywhere near. He's an
He got
okay
3
rim
blocks last
protector.
night.
He's a terrible shot. The shot blocking's a little bit confusing. He's not a good shot blocker, and he's an all right rim protector.
Oh.
He's a decent defender. All right. He's above average and a system that is really complimentary for him. I don't really look at him as this high-level ceiling raiser or a high-level floor raiser. I saw
I don't
Giannis
either.
into him in the finals.
I don't either. But as the 4th guy on a team with Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker,
But what are you
They're a
asking the
super
fourth guy to do, Brandon?
I'm asking him to be at least a double-double and be a rim protector, be a 7-footer. I feel like that's what he can give you.
You want a really good rim protector with their defensive limitations, no? And he's an all right rim protector.
Yeah, I didn't say that he's great. I just said I want you to be a 7-footer.
Any 7-footer is not good enough. Yeah, be more than 7 feet tall. Mason Plumlee's 7 feet tall. He's not a starting center.
I think he can do a good job. I think he's done a pretty good job.
He has
When
he
they're
did the
when
2021
with,
run,
in that
sure.
role, not as the 3rd guy, in the role that he is in now, which is the 4th guy. I think he can do a pretty damn good job. And that's why I think you say the Suns are probably the favorites when they're all healthy.
And there are moments when DeAndre Ayton can really catch fire.
Take over.
He can. I saw it live when I went to that Nets game. Dude took over. So yeah, I get what you mean. His lack of rim protection, his defense. He's not a defensive liability, but he's not.
He's not like
huge-
Jokic.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a.
He's
He's
not
not,
Jokic defensively.
a cone isn't walking by him. But I hear what you're saying, John. But at the end of the day, this team is so stacked. Got best starting lineup in the NBA easily. Yeah, I consider this a super team.
Yeah.
I do. No, dude, Chris Paul, I understand what you mean. He has regressed a little bit, but
Yeah,
that's
he's lost a step. Yeah.
but he's still a point guard. He still distributes the ball better than anybody in the NBA.
Leave him open, see what happens, like you did. Leave him open again, like they did, and see what happens.
But
You're
yeah,
not going to want to do that.
but the Suns, I know that franchise right now is ecstatic after last night. 1, winning a ball game, and then 2, Kevin Durant coming back at the right time to get his legs under him going into the playoffs. The Suns are, when healthy, the best team in the West.
KD last night, 5-18 from the field. You know, the Sacramento Kings are a team that a lot of people didn't predict to be a playoff squad going into the year.
Yeah.
I did, and then I backtracked.
Hmm.
I want to formally apologize to Kings fans. We should have known this was coming this year. We should have known when you build around 2 star players and you maximize them offensively with a great head coach in Mike Brown, good stuff happens. And for the Kings last night, demolishing the Portland Trail Blazers, a team that's failed to build around team, of course, talking about building around stars, by 40 points. The Kings are now, for the first time in 16 years, headed to the playoffs. The last time the Kings were a playoff team, I'm trying to find it on Twitter. I don't think the
2002?
iPhone came out yet.
2002, right?
2006. It's been 16
Six?
years.
Oh, the iPhone came out then. I mean,
Checking on Twitter right now.
it's absolutely insane what the Kings are doing. Yeah, let alone playoff team. I think you're underselling it. They're the second seed or the third seed now.
I was
13,
8 years old the last time the Kings made the playoffs.
It's crazy. I mean, and that's why I've commended them and said, bravo to them. I just, but this is your thing. You wanted to apologize to them, so I mean, I'm not going to apologize.
I want to apologize to Kings fans because I've even in the season thrown some shade at their star and Domantas Sabonis. And I still think there are some limitations with Domas, maybe defensively, not a rim protector, but for Sacramento offensively to build the best unit in the league, Mike Brown is undisputed coach of the year. De'Aaron Fox, the most clutch player in the NBA, he'll get that award. He'll be the first player to ever win clutch player. He'll get the trophy. And I think Keegan Murray last night, 188 three-point makes, maybe more. He broke the rookie record for three-point makes in a season. That's not even to talk about what Kevin Huerter's done his career year. I look at Sacramento, and realistically in this West, they can get hot in a series and without a doubt beat anybody. Anybody. Maybe not Denver. Maybe not Memphis. They're not going to be favored in those series. But when this offense catches fire, it's at a point where it's like a punk drunk boxer that's kind of overpowered. Defensively, they may not be able to protect the rim. They're limited on the perimeter. And they don't have a true elite point of attack defender. But I think offensively, the construct of their offense, it puts you to the stress test in transition because they play with so much pace. But they have so much shooting and so much finishing at the rim. So it's the combination of Fox pushing the tempo, Malik Monk giving them an injection of scoring, but then so much shooting and an elite level playmaker. If it weren't for Jokic, Domantas Sabonis would be the best passing center since Wilt Chamberlain. That's how good of a playmaker he is. And so I want to give Kings fans their tip of the cap. What Sacramento has done this year is nothing short of remarkable, and give their general manager, Monty McNair, an extension. Vivek Ranadive, I mean, the guy is the only GM you've really found that can build a team like this.
Yeah, it's so fun seeing teams that have gone from literal trash. I mean, the days of Tyreek Evans and DeMarcus Cousins, and even before that, though those days are now over. And like I said, it's cool seeing teams that went from that rise up and take this place that Sacramento now has. And I've always said it, and I've said it about the Knicks, when you see a team with direction, a fan base has reason to be optimistic. I mean, just last year in baseball, the Seattle Mariners broke their playoff drought. Now this year, upcoming in the NFL, if Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, Jets might break their playoff drought. So many of these fan bases are being rejuvenated again just on one move, just because you're starting to see teams be patient and build slowly through the process. I think this is a good thing for basketball to see Sacramento rising up and might become a destination for other players to go. I was talking with somebody at my job yesterday, and we were talking about the Kings, and he said that it kind of reminds him of the Warriors back in 2013, 2014, how they kind of just took the world by storm. And not saying that they're going to become, four-time champions, but saying that they have an opportunity now to take that next step and really put the world on notice.
I thought you were going to say the We Believe Warriors in 07. Damn.
No, he didn't say, yeah, that would have been a better comparison.
Yeah, I agree with all your guys' points about the Kings. I commend them. They're doing a great job right now. And now it's just time to see what they do in the playoffs in the first round, because it seems like what I'm hearing is teams are trying to not lobby, but they're trying to get that 6 seed so they can play the Kings in the first round, because they see the Kings as fresh meat, vulnerable, that they can get them. So
the last time the Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, the iPhone was not created yet. The Kings made the playoffs in 2006. The iPhone came out in January 2007. The late great Kobe Bryant wore the number 8s. Dwayne Wade had just come off his Finals MVP, one of the greatest Finals runs in NBA history, one of the most underrated, without a doubt. Instagram, Twitter didn't exist yet.
Did Facebook? Was that the beginning of Facebook? I believe.
MySpace was definitely popping, I think.
Yeah.
Facebook creation.
I think
I'm going to go on a
Facebook.
limb here, Justin, and say Facebook had just been founded 3 years before by Mark Zuckerberg.
The Zuck. Yeah,
The
listen,
Kings
man,
at
it's
the
been a-
time, the current Kings, Matthew Dellavedova was 15. Keegan Murray was 5.
Wow.
Now, Keegan Murray also 2 years at Iowa, so he's an older rookie.
Shout out the Kings, but I just want to know where you guys think the Kings can go. I know, you know what? I know where John's going to hyperbole. Justin, where can the Kings go?
I think they're winning a playoff series. I believe that they have a better chance to win a playoff series than teams like the Clippers, teams like Minnesota. I think at the moment right now, I think they can even give the Lakers a run for their money if they matched up in a first round series. Their offense has proven, in the beginning of the season, you saw the Sacramento Kings above the Western Conference rankings, and you thought it was temporary. They let you know that this is legit. This is for real. Our offense is real. De'Aaron Fox is playing out of his mind. Sabonis is doing his thing. Like you said, I was watching the Knicks Kings game when we lost, and I was watching Sabonis pass the hell out of that basketball, and I was getting pissed off. The team is insanely talented. I really believe that they have an opportunity to beat. I honestly think they could win 2 rounds here. They could find themselves in the Western Conference Finals.
J-Ray. Whoo!
See, but this is my thing with the Kings, right? And I've heard about their offense is insane. I heard a stat that apparently this is the highest offensive scoring season in since Wilt Chamberlain. I think in 1960. I think if I'm not mistaken.
Let me put it in more simple terms. This is the highest offensive rating ever posted.
Okay, and the Kings are the number 1 offense in the league. But as John probably knows, the Kings have a bottom 5 defense in the league. So, and I heard JJ Redick give this stat out. I believe the only team to ever make a finals with that type of disparity is the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2018. I don't think that they're making it to the finals. Can they get to the Western Conference Finals?
That's where I'm.
Maybe, but
setting it up.
I honestly, it looks like they're going to be matched up with but then again, the West is much harder. I can predict the East pretty easily right now, but the West is much harder. Right now, they're matched up with the Warriors. I think that's going 7 games. If it goes 7 games, and I know they've been trash on the road, Golden State, but in the 7th game, I mean, you cannot count out a team with that type of experience going up against a real inexperienced team with a defense that is just piss poor. That's going to be a crapshoot, man. I would love to see that game 7.
There's a saying, BC, you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. But what if that champion's losing their lifeline in Andrew Wiggins?
That is true. I
Wiggins
mean, the
is
Warriors aren't
incredible
going.
defense.
The Warriors are not repeating without Andrew Wiggins. That's a fact.
They're not making it out the second round. They're not making maybe out the first round without Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
How'd they beat Dallas last year? It was Wiggins guarding Luka full court, getting offensive rebounds, making 3-pointers, switching 1 through 4, even
He's
1
very
through 5
important.
he can on
He's
some
very
matchups.
important.
And then also at the end of shot clocks, hitting some big time jumpers. So I think Andrew Wiggins is really the key to them going on any run. They got Gary Payton back. He'll make some plays. He's also coming off core muscle surgery. I just think Andrew Wiggins, if he does come back, is what makes the Warriors scary. If he is in game shape, that could change the entire Western
It can, yeah. I 100% agree with that, John. Yeah, he's very important to the Warriors' run in the playoffs this year.
I'm trying to find other Kane statistics.
I love that I got John hyped up with that.
Justin, I think Western Conference Finals is that'll break the NBA because the Western Conference.
I mean, they'd match up with wouldn't they match up with Denver in the second round?
Most likely, yeah.
But that's my thing. I don't think in my lifetime I've seen a Western Conference this tight. So everybody can compete. Everybody is vulnerable. So it's so tough for me to even. I'm backtracking on Denver. Like the way I view them. The only team that really strikes fear into my heart be Phoenix. That would be the only team.
And they're
And
pushing
Phoenix
much too.
actually. Phoenix will play Denver in the first round. Or, sorry, Phoenix will play Denver in the second round. Great.
Nice.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, Sacramento.
The Kings would play the Grizzlies.
Yeah, if the Grizzlies got through.
Oh, that's electric.
No, the Kings. If the Kings could beat the Grizzlies and they could win the first round, they'd be going to the conference finals. I don't want to see Phoenix dismantle my Nuggets in the second round.
Oh, that's why you're sad.
Yeah, I thought he got some bad news or something.
Yeah, I know. It's listen, man, it's all right. I mean, I'm on that Laker train though, so you know.
I'd love to.
I want to get a reaction out of John. I want to see
LeBron make a run, but I don't know how confident.
Like, you're trying to tell me right now, if the Lakers are fully healthy going up against Memphis in the first round, you're not saying Lakers can give them a run for their money.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd pick the Lakers to win that series if they're fully healthy.
I don't know. I just feel like they're so inconsistent. So inconsistent.
They are.
Oh.
They are. But you gotta have faith. I mean, this is your guys' GOAT, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. But
he ain't my GOAT.
I have faith in him. I don't know if I have faith in everybody else.
Talk about consistent. The Lakers this year are 11-11 with AD and LeBron.
Yeah.
In the regular season.
Bingo. That's my point.
Listen, bingo is not his name, Mo. All right? And LeBron James, AD, and D'Angelo Russell are on the court together. It's going to be a problem for anybody. All right?
I hope so. From your mouth to God's ears, bro. I want to see a LeBron playoff run again.
I would love to see the Lakers be a legitimate playoff threat. I've seen D'Lo in the playoffs. I've seen LeBron AD miss time. And I'm just let me see it. I haven't seen it in 3 years. And until I do, the last 2 years, when I judge my opinion, my judgment is off of that. I ain't got no faith in the Lakers. I do got faith in Austin Reeves, though. I'm a believer in his game.
It's fun.
I did see some wild stuff. Justin, did you see the wild take that John had?
What?
Austin Reeves? He can be a third best player on a championship team.
I think I was here for that.
No, this was not on our podcast.
No?
No.
Oh, wow.
He said that.
Yeah, the kid's young.
Rondo was.
The kid's young.
That was wild, John.
Rondo was a 35.
Yeah.
Wild. That's the truth.
Right. That's such a, I get what you're saying, but I think you can see the flaw in that argument.
I don't see no flaws.
Like the disparity, the gap between the players is ridiculous.
What's next?
Justin, what's going on today in the MLB?
What's going on today in the MLB? What's going on?
I don't think he stuttered, Justin. He didn't stutter.
Guys, today is opening day. Today is a holiday for me and baseball fans alike. The best pitchers going toe to toe, all lineups healthy and ready to go. Well, not everybody, but the exciting thing is, one, I'm taking off of work. I'm going to the Yankee Stadium right after this episode, and I'm going to see my Yankees, Garrett Cole, the captain, Aaron Judge, and our new shortstop, Anthony Volpe, take the field. They're calling it Volpening Day in the Bronx. It's going to be an exciting one.
I'm pumped up, Justin. I'm not even a baseball fan, but this is my season to get into it. Because you want to know why?
It better be.
It's sunny outside. My Nuggets are going to the finals. I mean, what better year?
What better year? This is the time to become a baseball fan now. Listen, for anybody that's not a baseball fan and you just say, oh, these games are too long, now is the year to watch it. Games are being trimmed down to nearly 30 minutes shorter than what they were before the last 2 years, as opposed from 3 hours and 10 minutes. They've been going down to 2 hours and 30 minutes with the new pitch clock. Things are moving faster. There's going to be more action, more stolen bases, more diving plays. You're going to see the athleticism from your shortstops. Your middle infielders are going to get after it. Oh, man, I'm itching to get started. You know what? Seasonal depression is a real thing. Right after baseball season ends, I go into this little funk just waiting. There's this little meme that always happens is, what are you going to do while I'm gone? wait for you to get back. That's how I feel after every single World Series. And now here it is. April's here, on the way. My birthday is April 7th. So every time I know my birthday season is coming around, that means baseball season's kicking around. So this is going to be an exciting year for the sport. I think we're in the best place we have been as a sport in a long time, with guys like Shohei Ohtani lighting up the world with the World Baseball Classic. And now guys like Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and all of them get to take the field all today. It's going to be exciting. Mariano Rivera is throwing out the first pitch in the Bronx. Let's go, Yankees. The chase for 28 starts today.
Let's go. That was exciting, Justin.
I'm so pumped, guys.
I just want to hit on 3 quick things. So this Saturday we got the Final Four for March Madness, and I just got to shout out my UConn boys. You know what I mean? You guys should be on my train right now.
You were calling it, bro. Let's go.
Let's go Huskies. All right. And the other one is I just have I want to get this out there on record so that if this does come true, that I have it on record. All right. I was thinking about this last night. The NBA playoffs, Eastern Conference only. If it matches up exactly how it matches up right now. Milwaukee faces Atlanta. Milwaukee's sweeping them. 4-game sweep. Boston versus Miami. Most likely 6 games. Easily could go 7. Boston's winning that. Philadelphia versus Brooklyn. That's going 5 games. Could go 6, but if Philly ain't playing around, it should end in 5. Cleveland versus New York. It's going to probably go 7. Cleveland's going to win that series, Justin. All right. I just wanted to get that on record for the first round of the playoffs. If that goes proven right, then you heard it here first, folks.
2 more wins and the Knicks clinch a playoff spot.
You're already in the playoffs. You're already going to be the 5th seed.
The last time Julius in the playoffs, you saw him 29% from the field, 4.5 turnovers.
I'm taking
7 PER.
The guy got hurt yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, I hope he's good.
Yeah, I hope he's good. I haven't seen any reports on what exactly is the injury or how long he might be out for. But
I heard he was walking around on his own after the injury.
Yo, John, quick before we go, your thoughts. What can Quentin Grimes be in the NBA? What's his ceiling?
How many points did he have last night?
Over I think 22, 23.
What can Quentin Grimes be in the NBA? Quentin Grimes.
He had 23 points.
He can be a starter on a contender.
That's it?
Oh, yeah. He can be a reliable version of Reggie Bullock. Imagine if that existed. With better hands. I mean, last night, he's been catching the fire late from 3-point range. He's shooting 50%. He's taking volume. On the year, Quentin Grimes, 10 points, 2 assists, 38% from 3, 58% EFG. I love his game. He should have been honestly, he should have been a lottery pick, but he was 20 coming out. He's 25th overall selection. I think Quentin Grimes, Justin, is going to be a top 100 player.
Okay. I was curious because I love watching when he starts to create his own shot. This is something we don't get to see too often because he's more in that catch and shoot mode. But when he starts to create his own shot and even drive to the basket, I get excited because I feel like there's so much more in the tank than just a catch and shoot.
He played point guard actually up until college at Houston. And Justin, he's one of the best in the game attacking the closeout.
Mm-hmm. So I think the Knicks have something special in this guy, and I hope that in this playoff run, if Julius Randle is healthy, that Quentin Grimes does play a big role in our offensive output. So, yeah, let's go Knicks. Let's go Yankees, guys.
The word dribble drive pisses me off, but Quentin Grimes is great at doing that.
And last thing for me is, I know this is a sports show and people might laugh at it, but WrestleMania 39 is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
That's a sport, bro.
I'm pumped up. I'm excited. Well, if you talk to one of my friends, he's very disrespectful about it, but it's okay. I get it. It's great. It's a great time. It's an entertainment-based thing. It's just to have a fun time. I can't wait. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes in the main event. Let's finish the story.
I hope you're off from work for WrestleMania.
Oh, I don't work nights, so.
Okay.
Both nights. Yep. I'm going to be there.
Good.
The Knicks' nickname should be the J's and the Q's. Julius and Jalen, Quickly, and Quentin.
Or the Hart Foundation. Oh, that should be our bench unit. That's really what it should be called.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like the P's in the
Best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever
Whatever it
will
will
be.
be.
but
Not the New York Knicks, though. That does not speak towards the New York Knicks.
that'll wrap up episode 89 of the Wise Guys podcast. Like we said at the beginning, be sure to check out the Patreon for some exclusive content, like and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you next time.